So you've seen the tutorials, you've been following the instructions, you've been cracking those jars open for over a month, you're still not getting those terps that you're looking for, you're still getting that haze smell. If that's the case, this video's for you. Stay tuned. Yo, welcome to Honest Flowers, where we talk everything from germination, cultivation, post-harvest, and more. And today, we're going to be talking about drying and curing and how to keep your harvest nice and sticky throughout the process. So let's get to the fun part. What we want to do is prepare our plant for harvest. And by doing so, we're going to take off all the foliage and the leafage that doesn't really have anything useful on it, like trichomes, sugars, etc. We want to keep the sugar leaves on because we want to make sure there's a way for the flowers to be preserved and to not fully dry out over time, over a long period of time while it's drying. So we're going to keep the sugar leaves on. We're going to make sure we take off all those additional leaves and the bigger leaves and the foliage that we don't really need on the plant. Once all the extra leaf and the foliage is taken care of, we're going to be creating a controlled environment. And what this means is that we're going to be keeping our humidity between 55 and 60 degrees. We're going to be keeping our temperature between 65 and 70 degrees. Now you can keep it between 60 and 70. I know a lot of people might comment that 60-60 is the optimal range and the correct parameter. There have been some case studies in the works that have been showing that 65 to 70 might actually be more optimal for drying and curing. I'm really excited to see what happens out of there. But for now, in our environment, I am locked in at 65 to 70. Otherwise, my fiance will kill me. And so we're between 65 and 70. I do find I get great flower every single time out of these particular parameters. And then we're 55 to 60 on the humidity. Now, how you can do that and to make sure that you're locked in humidity wise is to make sure that you have a humidifier with a built-in Humidistat. And so you can get one from Amazon or even your local grow shop. It's great to support local when you can. And so get a humidifier that has a built-in Humidistat. I like to keep mine between 55 and 60%. This ensures that the product, no matter how long it's been there, it's going to stay fresh, it's going to stay tacky and sticky. I've had plants that have been hanging in my environment in those same parameters for weeks on end and just wasn't able to get to it right away due to work, family, life happens, right? And so I wasn't able to get to it right away, but when I did that final trim and everything was fantastic, honestly. Everything was locked in moisture wise, nothing was too dry, and I was able to put it away for long-term storage and everything was fantastic. And so yeah, you want to make sure that your environment is between 65 and 70 on the Fahrenheit and then 55 to 60 on the humidity. And once your plants are ready to go, you want to hang them upside down in that environment for 14 to 16 days. You want to also make sure that you have a proper amount of airflow, and by doing so you want to make sure that you have like a fan or something in the corner of your room that's gonna knock around the air and make sure that there's no pockets of stagnant humidity or air or anything like that that's gonna give you problems for your drying and curing. And so when you do have that locked in environment, you have the airflow going, humidity's on point, temperature's on point, your plants are hanging, you can confidently leave them in that 14 to 16 days in that environment and know that your flowers are going to be in tip-top shape. I do recommend checking as much as maybe every day or every couple days. You don't want to disturb the environment too much, but you want to make sure that everything is on point. A lot of the time with the apps nowadays, you can see what the temperature and the humidity is without having to go into your drying space. And so I would encourage you to do that as well. Once that 14 to 16 days is done or you're approaching close to that time, I would check the branches, and you want to see the smaller branches will start snapping. You want to see that those main branches are not completely breaking off, but giving you like a little snap. You know what I mean? I kind of learned this from Jeremy from BuildASoil. What you want to do is just take that stem and put it to your ear. If you bend it and it's like a little chip, like a snap, it's ready to go. You don't want it to, again, break completely off, but just like a little crack as opposed to like a wet bend, Once you're at that point, you'll know that you're at a great time for your final trim. And so once we're at the final trim, you give a trim a go. And then what I like to do is before putting into jars, I like to give it a sweating process. And so I use zip-zag bags. They're essentially heavy-duty Ziploc bags. And what this is going to do is you're going to put all your flour into there, one cultivar per bag. You want to make sure that the corner of the bag is open like a 1/4 inch just for that first 24 hours. And you're going to keep these bags in your controlled environment. This way, just in case there's any final drying out of the product, it's in that 55 to 60% humidity range. And so nothing can truly dry out too much. And for those first 24 hours, you're going to keep it open a 1/4 inch on the corner of the bag. And for the next 24 hours, you're going to seal the bag completely shut. This gives the flower an opportunity for the following 24 hours to give it a true sweat. And then the following day after that, you want to open the bag a 1/4 inch in the corner again to let a little bit of off-gassing happen. I do this back and forth, the alternating, for about 5 days. And then for the last 2 days, I want to seal the bags completely shut for 48 hours just to give it that final sweat before I put it into jars. After that 7 days is gone, you should be about 21 to 23 days after harvest, depending on if you dried from 14 or to 16 days. And at this point, your flowers will definitely be ready. It'll be super terpy. You'll open those bags like, woo! It'll be really, really nice. Woo! They'll be really, really nice, really terpy. You have a test, you'll know that it's tasty. It burns well. Everything will be ready to go for that final storage in the jars. And now in the jars, they'll do nothing but improve, especially if it is in a controlled environment. It doesn't really have to be humidity controlled, but as long as there's no light and it's a cool environment between 60 to 70 degrees, your flowers should be continuing to improve over time in the jars. And when you crack them open, it's gonna be wonderful. You're gonna be in heaven. And yeah, I've had jars honestly sitting for 3-4 months at a time. None of them burped. I don't personally like to burp my jars. Oxidation is definitely the #1 enemy when it comes to losing that stickiness out of your harvest. You know what I mean? I've found that when I burp my jars for a long period of time, or I leave my final trimmed flower out in a space where there's a lot of oxygen and stuff, that stickiness gets lost very quickly. And so I like to go do that process where they're being protected from the sugar with the sugar leaves. They go into the zip-zag bags with just that 1/4 inch so that there's minimal oxygen being introduced to the flowers, but there's air escaping if needed. And then we're going straight to jars after that and filling it to the top. I know a lot of the time when we're using jars and we're curing with jars, want to leave a little bit of airspace for that off-gassing. But since we're done that off-gassing process already, we're going to be putting them into we're going to be putting them into jars, and we're going to be filling them right to the top with minimal airspace. You want to kind of shake the jar around, make sure that the flour is even throughout the jar and that it's filled to the top. And then you want to close it up, put it away long term. You'll be ready to go. You'll have great terpy flower. They'll taste amazing. I've tried so many different methods over the years, whether it be using drying racks or brown paper bags and so many other things. And I found that ultimately retaining the terpenes or retaining the humidity or both was always an issue with one method or another. And that this method just works so well. And I don't want to take credit where credit's due, you know. I want to give a big shout out to Urban Remo. It's really, really unfortunate what happened to his YouTube channel. 16 years of history, content, tutorials, reviews, all deleted, unfortunately. I'm hoping that they can bring that back. He had over 300,000 subscribers. Really, really unfortunate what happened to his channel. And yeah, I'm really hoping all of that can come back. But I actually did learn this technique from one of his drying and trimming videos, where he mentioned that he also uses zip-zag bags, and he'll leave it a 1/4 inch open just in the corner there, just to off-gas any of that final remaining chlorophyll or anything else that needs to be off-gassed. And found such fantastic results out of that. I've kind of combined it, what I've learned from BuildASoil and what I've learned from Urban Remo, and I have some of the terpiest flowers I've ever been able to consume in my life. So yeah, I'm really hoping this helps those who also have been finding issues with drying and curing, and being able to find that like true expression that they smell on the plant in that final dry and cure when you're opening those jars up, when you're opening your bags up. I'm really hoping that this helps. If you have your own methods on how you dry and cure and how where you found success with it, I'd love to hear in the comments below. I love to have a discussion going, having engaging, and seeing what works for different people, and you know, talking amongst the community, and we can all learn something new at the end of the day, you know what I mean? So drop a comment below if you like this type of content. Liking, subscribing really means the world to me. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care. Have a good one. Peace.